this moving. It's Young People Nation.
Welcome to Young People Nation. Listen to us weekly as we commit to bring transparency, healing, and truth to the everyday situations in life that might bring you down. Join us for your weekly dose of inspiration. Thank you for listening to Young People Nation. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And now, here's your host, Eugene and Donna Perry.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Giving the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross.
Welcome to Young People Nation, and we're in session 2, and we are talking on the topic of mental health. June is not mental health, sorry, men's health. We do so much with mental health, Lord.
Yeah.
Men's Health Month, and in this session again, we are with Mr. Dr. Chris Cockrum, and we're with Mr. Keith Cherry. How you guys doing again today?
Doing fine.
well.
Okay, for those
Doing
that
well.
didn't listen to session 1 on the mental, physical, and spiritual, go back and listen to it. And so again, we have Dr. Chris Cockrum. He has been in the mental health field for over 40 years. He's a licensed counselor. He has worked with military family life counseling, and he has been blessed with several licenses and certifications. Thank you, Dr. Cockrum. And also we have Mr. I'm going to call you Chris. Keith Cherry, Lord Jesus. Okay. And so thank you again for your service to our country. Mm-hmm. He served 22 years in the service in the United States Air Force. Him and his family came here, moved here, and now he's been in IT for over 20 years, and that's his passion. Yeah. He does an amazing job, okay? So maybe that's going to be your side thing once you retire.
You got it.
That be your LLC? Mm-hmm. Maybe, okay?
Yeah.
And so we're grateful for you guys, and we'd like to also thank our sponsors, our community, who is always here to support us. But most of all, we thank God. Amen. Because this could not have been done without him. Amen. Okay, so we're in session 2, and we're talking about the importance of a father and a dad's presence. Now, we left off with a question that Dr. Cockrum asked. Now, what's that question again you had, Dr. Cockrum?
I think it had to do with if the parent is not getting a correct message, mm-hmm. And the young male, 12, 14, 15, whatever, is not exposed to the word, how do they get the information they need to learn how to make good choices, mm-hmm. Which also leads to problems because outside of the home, a 14-year-old is still considered a child. Mm-hmm. But when they go home, mom says up to a point, and who knows what that magical up to a point is, mm-hmm. you're the man of the house. Mm-hmm. So to take that a step further, does the young man or young teenager get to tell mom, you can't have that man in the house? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you placed him in that position.
Because I'm the man of the house. You can't have a new guy in here.
Right.
And it can get really complicated. So that was the question I kind of just put out there to see what people thought.
Can I ask this for the ones that had to be put in a leadership role in your home? How did you all navigate that? Because I know for my husband, what he shared with me, and I didn't know all that, you understand? But how did you, to your question, how do you come from being the responsible one at such a young age and then going on with your life and being successful? How did you navigate that?
I would say I navigated it through the grace of God because I came from a single parent home and no father was in the home. Mm-hmm. And we basically did what we had to do to survive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And a lot of times, too, from the environment I came from, too, there's not a lot of resources. There's not a lot of people good examples around you. I grew up in the projects of Richmond, Virginia, and it was pretty tough there. But we did what we had to do to survive. You know, and I stuck by my mom the best I could. I didn't have proper guidance myself. So I know that probably was sometimes too, some things was neglected, some things probably wasn't done right. But of course we made it to be able to talk about it today.
Amen.
You know? So it was basically that you in a survival mode. You know, you do what you know how to do, or do what you can do to survive.
How did you all stay away from gangs?
That was very challenging for me because we had several of them. And as I entered into the teenage years, it got tougher living in the projects where I came from. Because in those projects, it's almost like a bucket of crabs. They're not going to watch you get out of there. They're going to pull you back down. And the environment, basically, it can consume you. Because those that, when you're trying to do what's right, they don't want to sit back and watch you succeed. They want you to be down with them. And most of the kids, they was going around stealing stuff, beating up people. And of course, I was trying to go in a different direction. And my mom was trying to steer me in a better direction as well. And the biggest thing that helped me was when we moved out of the projects.
Okay.
Because we moved to another side of town that was much better. And I wasn't in that type of environment. And one thing I want to say, too, is that I know it's probably tough for, you know, single parents to raise their kids, but we got to give a lot of like single moms a lot of credit because of my mom, and I told her about this last weekend when I saw her, I thank her for the things she instilled in me. Because even though I didn't have a father there, she taught me how to cook, clean, actually sew. Because she told me, she said, hey, you may not be able to find a woman that's going to do these things for you. And mentally, she was strong as well. And I think that helped me as well to be mentally strong. Now, there were some emotional things that was missing, but I appreciate everything she did. And I told my mom that too.
That's wonderful.
You know.
What about you, honey? You shared some things with me, but I let you speak for yourself.
Well, life is like a game that you shake up the checkers, and when you throw them out, there's land where they land. And many people come from a one-parent home, or they have cut two parents. But having two parents there can be just as devastating as having one parent. I remember my first time my father said he loved me when I was 35 years old, when I heard those words coming out of his mouth. And I didn't get no home training or anything like that, and no examples, you know, because the authority in the house was my mom. And when my dad did come home and all like that, he may have lost all the money gambling or drinking and all. So we kind of defended for ourselves. And I used to hate that saying, you did the best you could. No, you didn't do the best you could. You did what you wanted to do, and you made poor decisions. Don't make excuses for people and their bad behavior. And life just kind of like went like a boat going down the stream, because life don't stop. Just cause you having a problem. Thank God for my grandfather and all. You know, he gave some very positive examples in life. But you can have a parent right there in the house with you and don't have no example whatsoever. And then the TV, the radio program, those examples come your foundation. And so God put in your life what you need, not what you want. Because I sure didn't want to have an example of a radio program or how I should live my life or what I want to be. But even through the midst of all that confusion and craziness, I still had a decision to make. Mentally, spiritually, and physically. Because I could have went down the wrong road, but I was steered in the right way when God put examples
before me what I needed. So everyone's comes from a different story.
Okay. And all of you all are fathers. So do you see, and all your children are grown. So do you see the vitalness of your presence in your children's lives?
Yes. Yes, I definitely see that. Like, my wife was telling me at one point, she was like, baby, because we had a conversation about some attitudes or moves that we saw that our daughter was making. And she said, baby, you know, our daughter's a reflection of us. She's going to do what she see you do. And I would brush her. I'll kind of brush her off in my mind. I'm like, nah, she ain't paying attention to me. So
yeah, you used to say that too.
One thing I started doing was working on my attitude and my mood swings and how I handle things. And I noticed that my daughter started to do the same thing. Another thing I noticed too was I would come downstairs and I have my Bible and everything right there in the kitchen, and I would go ahead and just get in my word. You know, I'm not going to disturb anybody else about doing it. Then next thing I know, she comes down and sits beside me. Oh, Dad, you reading your word? Okay, this is a good time for me to do my devotions as well. But to make a long story short, that's one of the things I've been learning over these last few years, that the kids they're a reflection of us.
Yes.
And when we see something in them that we don't like, we need to first look at ourselves and see if that's something that we have been putting out that they have gathered from us.
Right.
And Mr. Cochran, you have a son. So,
yes, my son, he is 45, I think. Yeah, he's 45. And it's been a wonderful experience because at different times he will share things, unsolicited things, with me that I would be concerned with. His mom and I divorced in 88 and all that. But he and I still had a personal relationship. Okay,
That's
no matter
good.
what. We always had a personal relationship. But I also said to him that if you ever feel like you can't talk to me, talk to your coach or a minister.
That's good.
Or another person, another male, but make sure they're reaching out a good hand. Okay, because there's a lot of predators out there.
Yes.
Okay, and at the time my son was 10. So over the years I found out why he buys me a lot of tools for gifts, because Dad, you didn't know I was taking all your tools when I was little.
So he was replacing them.
Yeah, so he's replacing them, which is good. Or when we went to Sacramento in 2015, after my brother was killed in a hit-and-run accident, when we got off the plane, I had a calm spirit, okay? Kind of knowing that even if I found the person, no matter what I might do to the person, not that I planned on doing it, it wasn't going to bring my brother back.
That's right.
But my son got off the plane and he went hunting. Much I got to see me in retrospect.
Okay.
That's what I would have done back in the day. I would have gone hunting, looking for that person. You know, but my dad died when I was 15. But he taught me a lot of things. I saw a lot of things, as well as the extended family, is that women were to be respected. Okay, the worst straighten up. I don't know if folks know what a syllable beat down is, but he put one on me because they thought I was disrespecting my mom. She was going to hit me with a yardstick, and I just put my foot up. And she said, oh, well, when my dad came home, I got a grown man alley style beat down, not the one you run around in a circle screaming and then no, this was a real beat down.
In real life.
Yeah, and the message was real clear. You know, and the messages that I received were also real clear from extended family. Like Grandpa would say, don't wake that dude up. Just let him sleep. He just can't eat at my table. Okay, which meant you better get up and take care of yourself.
Yes.
Okay, but for many years after my dad died, I lived in shame and guilt and darkness. mainly because I thought I was responsible for his death, but I wasn't. You know, but again, here I am, 15, don't have a clue. My mom says God works in mysterious ways, and I'm saying nothing mysterious about this. My dad's dead. There ain't no mystery here. And through that time and through all the blessings, God still had me. I didn't realize it till I got to the other side of the valley.
Right.
Okay, the idea is we all get valley time, and hopefully you don't even build a tent. I built a mansion in the valley.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, I had a swimming pool and everything in the valley. Nothing but darkness.
Wow.
Okay, but as I got to the other side, I began to see the grace and the love of the God. And I went and got rebaptized.
Okay.
Because that's when I understood what it meant, not when my mom said at 13, you go get baptized. I was baptized at 13 and then as an adult. So
Understanding.
yeah. So my dad taught, you know, even he worked like 2-3 jobs. He'd stay up 2-3 days in a row. You know, try to get the best for everybody in the house.
Right.
Wired our little league scoreboard kind of stuff because the other part of town, they had an electric scoreboard. We didn't. So he hooked it up. So our league had a scoreboard too.
Yes.
So we was looking like Yankee Stadium.
Yes,
Y'all don't know.
Right.
So, yeah, I just think, you know, what everybody is saying is absolutely true. If you don't have a mentor, if you don't have a guide, if you don't have someone who really can see past the front and speak to your heart, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be real hard.
Wow. So we're about to close on this one. This is how quick it goes. And so I'm just sitting here basking in you guys' wisdom and your transparency. So thank you all so much. Is there anything before closing any of you would like to leave for the audience, for the young man who is that, you know, has been put in that position as, you know, calling him the king of the house when he's just 12 or 14 years old. What wisdom would you all leave as men who have overcome quite a bit?
I would say keep trying, keep working at it. And I'm sure if they look around, there's some people that they can get some good characteristics from, some good wisdom from. Like I remember also growing up in the projects, I got some good wisdom from my cousin Michael. My cousin, he was, you know, doing that, slinging that stuff, and he took me on a job with him because at one point I thought that's what I wanted to do, was be a drug dealer, because we didn't, you know, that was it. That's the only examples we had in the neighborhood. And after I saw what he had to deal with, and he told me, he said, no, this is not the life for you. You need to go to school and make something out of yourself. That was all I needed right there. And he told me too, actually it was me, my younger brother, and my cousin. And he also told us, he said, look, if I catch you out here, I'm gonna take care of you. Nobody else had to do it.
Wow.
And that was all I needed right there to steer me in a better direction.
Amen.
So I would say to anyone that's out there struggling, keep trying. You can find help when you're trying. But if you stop trying, that's when it gets really tough.
Okay.
Then the predators show up.
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Perry, was you going to say something?
Well, God always send people your way at the right time, the right incident, the right event, and you're never alone. And God always see far ahead than we do. And just because a person doesn't have a father in their life or isn't doing the right thing, God will provide that person to show you the right way. We just have to make the right decision.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is session 2. And I hope everyone embraced what they heard from these men, because these men are very transparent and were very transparent about their journey. So because we never know who is listening, we always like to give out give out the mental health. It's not ours, it's the community's mental health hotline. There's a 988 hotline. There's a text 741 to 741. That's 24/7 service. There's the NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And you can go to their website and reach out to the state you live in. And of course, there's the 211 for general community resources. Mr. Perry.
Well, in life, take time out to consider. No one can fool the fool that fools himself. This has been Young People Nation, and remember, there's always hope.
Yes, it is.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Give the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross. He the #1 prospect. He the top boss. I was broke, I was empty. He the one that paid the cost. Really thought that I was cool. There was nothing like the Savior. Now it's time for the truth. The whole world been waiting. It's Young People Nation. 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 The whole world been waiting. Whatever you going through, I know what he gonna do. Don't matter the circumstance, we going back to the root. Keep going. Let that seed keep growing. You need peace and we know it. Now it's time to live holy. Young People Nation. You know what time it is. Young People Nation. Get ready, the time is here. Get ready, we vibing here. We about to let God in here. Young People Nation. It's Young People Nation. Yeah, do it for the heavens, you know where we going. Influenced by his love, you know we gotta show it. It's time to put the youth onto what God is doing. Cause I can tell you now, right now, that God is moving. It's Young People Nation.